Well, that's a question that only you and your healthcare providers can answer, and it's a conversation that state law says should happen. The law legalizing medicinal cannabis in Kentucky has a definition for bona fide practitioner-patient relationship and has a few different steps. One of those is to have, quote, advise the patient of the possible risks and side effects associated with the use of medicinal cannabis, including possible interactions between medicinal cannabis and any other drug or medication that the patient is taking at the time. Now, research shows that cannabis can interact with different medications in different ways. With opioids, it can intensify the effect. One study from 2020 in California followed adults with chronic back pain who used opioids and started taking cannabis. Half of the participants in that study were able to stop using opioids. 1/3 were able to lower their dosage. So you want to make sure you talk to your medical team before you make any potential changes. If you have a good question, just email us. Good question at WKYT.com. I'll see you on WKYT Mornings.